We're going to continue in worship today. We're blessed to have Reverend Harris with us, and he's going to share a few words as part of our 150th anniversary celebration.
This is the last moment. There are no more memory moments after me because I'm so old. I've been here longer than the memories of some of you. So we're celebrating our 150th anniversary. Tonight they start the American Revolution on PBS that tells about our 250th anniversary as a nation. So if you think about us, we've been around more than half the years that the country has. Pretty amazing. We've celebrated these moments throughout this year. My task today, most of those have been about things in the distant past. My task today is to bring you up to date a little bit, if I can, about the things that have happened since some of you have been here and since some of you have only know as memories or as history as well. I want to start with the year 1960. That was a major point of transition in the history of this congregation because this building was completed. Was dedicated, but it was not without some conflict, of course. There was two sides, right? Always two sides. One side wanted to go out to Oak Ridge Road on the edge of town in the south. The other side wanted to go up here by the mansions on the edge of town. There was nothing beyond us. So there was this big debate over that. Not only that, they had a debate over what the church should look like. You know, some people, like the minister who had gone to Lexington Theological Seminary, wanted this Presbyterian colonial-style building with a red dossal curtain and one of those crosses that looked just like that that's at Lexington Seminary where he had gone to school. The other part wanted an old Baroque-style building with stone and a nice steps up to the front. So what did we do? Of course, we compromised and we built the only colonial church that I've ever seen with stained glass windows. That's why they're here. With a new building and a great parking on the very edge of town and the easy way to get in right there from the back and pull up, and two good ministers, Bill Hogeville and Bob Regenode, who got along really well, and the church grew and grew and grew. That's the reason the library is named after Bill Hogeville and why the house across the way is named after Bob Regenode. They were here forever. How many people were here when Bob and Bill were here? See, you old-timers. With this new building and this great parking and everything growing, leaders like Louis and Jim Plummer, Kenny Adams, Dick Ott, John and Don Hamburg, and the Real family, they took up 2 rows right in the middle of the sanctuary over there, and I said if they'll start a special fund, I would try and get them to change the name of the church to the Real Christian Church. I don't know whether you've noticed, but everybody seems to sit in the same place. Did you know that? There were folks who were challenged, they were people who challenged everyone to love the church as much as they did. They had a great Sunday school class called the Ever Ready class. Anybody old enough to? Oh, there's a few of you who were Ever Ready. There were 100 people in the Ever Ready class on Sunday mornings. And they had an all-church retreat at, I forgot the name of it, Rhine Mountain in Virginia. Mickey Morgan used to get up in a rocking chair and portray Raggedy Ann. It was a rocking chair that's probably still around somewhere that was about 20 feet tall. Huh? It was quite a sight, I'm told. In the 1980s and 90s, they brought a series of short-term ministers, Bill Blackwell, Steve Church, Tim Mabott, They saw the installation of a new elevator. They strengthened the younger group, the Christian heirs, young people, and the Samaritans, young people. They fought the good conflict over being allowed to have a dance downstairs in Fellowship Hall because they didn't think that dancing, the old-timers, was appropriate in the church. See, kids, it is a little better today. It wasn't that they didn't have some problems. They had a big bunch of people got upset because one of the leaders of a class got a divorce, and that was unheard of. And another problem that developed was they hired a woman minister, Liz Lambert, who came here as an associate minister. Ooh. And they started to argue even then about whether they should have a band in contemporary worship with drums. For me, 1996 was a critical year in the life of the church. That's when Jim Plummer, Sam Reel, and Jerry Norris came to Toledo to recruit me. It was a most unusual experience. They met at a hotel because they thought it should be in secret. And all they did was tell me about the problems of the church. It was like, are you sure you want to come here? We have a lady who sits in the narthex and tells people, don't come to church here if they were visiting, because we're fighting with each other. We came anyway, and it was a blessing to both Debbie and I. We were blessed to see worship attendance go from 250 to 450. We saw the asbestos removed from the building and all those new dividers installed downstairs. We bought the house across the way because we didn't have room for all the classes and the youth. Don Richardson and Gary Watson and others went over there and remodeled that whole house for us. The church programs under Cindy Reeder started to grow and grow. And the angel breakfast was a big thing. It was wonderful. We had 100 preschool children. Instead of meeting Santa, Christina Witter changed the whole church to look like in heaven, and we met the angels for breakfast. We had a mission group that went to Zimbabwe and built a school building, and we went to Louisiana and Mississippi. One year we gave away 33% of every dollar we took in. We had key leaders like Kathy Prethrick, John and Janice Porter, Mike Baer, Bob Neiser, Greg Martin, Will Mumma. And we had 250 people go through Disciple Bible Study, an intensive 2 hours a week Bible study that lasted for a year. How many people did that? See, quite a few of you. One thing is very clear. 150 years is a long time, and congregations go through good times and bads, recessions and boom, world wars, cultural differences, smooth times when things grow, times of conflict. But through it all, when you love the church, instead of just loving the minister or the leader, when you love God's work in this place, we hang around. We still exist where others have disappeared. It's been a wonderful thing. It was a great blessing for me to be your pastor for 15 years. I brought my memory book that Debbie put together and that Carolyn Shull and McNews put together. It's out there in the back, some pages from it. And even there is the 125th anniversary pictures when some of these strange people dressed up as if it was 1875. So you ought to look at that. It's in the corner out here. So thank you for letting me be your pastor, and thank you for remembering these moments today.